What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, been a strange few weeks. Obviously, we started the season not great, and now we find ourselves in a position where we've won 2 on the bounce. You know, a really important win against former town man's Carl Corbran's West Brom, and in a Yorkshire derby against Rotherham United. That isn't really what we're going to be talking about tonight, although it is relevant to the next game. They were both good results. You know, from what I gathered from the West Brom game, we dug deep and got all 3 points in a game where probably either team could have. You know, kind of how we could have at Middlesbrough, but we didn't really make any good chances or take the chances that we did make. The big news, you know, it's going all around the footballing world, really. Mainly just this country, obviously, but people like to keep a kind of, you know, an ear on Neil Warnock's whereabouts at all times. And he and Ronnie Jepson will indeed be taking their last game with the club tomorrow night against Stoke City at home. Now, there are a lot of theories about this dismissal and about him leaving the club. I'm going to give my take on it and obviously accept some comments from yourselves and see what you guys think. For me, at the moment, I've watched most of the press conference and heard pretty much all there is. Obviously, I've got a couple of sources as well that tell me who the new manager is and who was on the list. So, where I am at the moment, now, it's a tricky one. Do I think that this is too soon? I'm not sure. What I will say is, you know, the way that Neil conducted himself in this. One second, I'm just going to turn my brightness up on that. There we go. The way that Neil conducted himself in that press conference was very good. Not that he doesn't in any, you know, media, but I feel like obviously he says that he has the best interest of the club at heart and he hopes we go far, regardless of whether it's him managing or not, which is obviously great to hear. He is a club legend, really. He's a footballing icon, a footballing legend. And, you know, what he's accomplished at this club, you know, before and after, we won't ever forget it. I wasn't alive to see the first feat, but I was very, very much alive and in the pub a lot as well, seeing the second one. And I'm glad I did, because to be completely honest with you guys, in the past 2 years of making content, I've had my best and I wouldn't say my worst year, because, you know, I got shown so much love and obviously made some great content regardless, but it is so hard to make content good when you're losing every week without it just being me moaning into a camera. And some people like to hear that. Some people think I'm saying it as it is. I feel I am in the moment. Obviously, sometimes I'm a bit hot-headed and so forth. But that is all it is when you're losing every week. And that was why it was so hard last season. Under Corbran, it was great. You know, we were getting smashed on the train, and then I was making a video, and it was banging. And everyone was loving it. But it wasn't like that last year. And obviously, we got ourselves into a tricky position. And there was only one man that could change it, and that was Neil Warnock, obviously with the assistance of former town man Ronnie Jepson. I still don't know how he did it. When I had the chance, luckily, to meet him, the first thing I said to him was, how much of a chance did you genuinely think we had? He said, well, I'll be honest, I don't know how we did it, but we did. He said the lads dug deep, they believed in me. And something along these lines, I can't remember the exact wording, but he said, look, I put my arm around a couple of the lads' shoulders, Josh Caroma especially. He really bonded with Josh and helped him. And he said the lads listened to me. I couldn't ask enough of them, and they went and did it. And I still can't believe we did stay up, given everything that happened last season. The running of fixtures we had to stay up was really, really good and really unlikely. I'd love to look back and see what the bookies had us on us to go down, because I'm pretty sure it would have been dead on favourites. So yeah, Neil Warnock leaving, Ronnie Jepson leaving. It's sad in an aspect, because of everything they've done. Let's have a look at the reasoning why. Now, Jake Edwards in the press conference that I watched yesterday, I believe it came out the night before. No, the day before, Monday it came out, which was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I watched it and I thought to myself, does everything here seem as genuine as it can be? Because, I'm not saying that anybody's lying or that anybody's, bending the truth, but a lot of the time, we've heard things from boards in the past, people in spots at the past, and it has been lies. And I'm not suggesting that they are lying, but there is that possibility, like in every conference, in everything. I will say I do have a lot of respect for the reporters in that press conference, because they asked some really great questions, and posed it towards. Obviously, this question was aimed towards Jake and towards all the other staff at the club that had a part to play in telling Neil that we were looking for a more long-term option. Was that it could go very badly wrong, and in our case, it usually does. Now, I, in my head at work today, was thinking of our past few managers, and it really is. I think I worked it down to figure it is a 50-50 with us. We either get a great manager or a bad one. And I've worked this out because we had Corbyn, Wagner, and Warnock, 3 great ones. Maybe Cowley could suggest he did a job. And then you have Seaver, Fotheringham, and Danny Schofield, which didn't take us where they needed to. So it really is 50-50. What they've done for the club will never be forgotten. That goes without saying. I've already said that. It's worth mentioning again. I really wish Neil the best in his next venture, along with Ronnie. I really do wish him the best. I'm so grateful that he took the chance to come back and save us, which he did do. And yeah, I mean, it is sad, but let's look at the reasoning now. So, before we do that, obviously, I'm going to read some comments, because we're going to get to the end there. And how are you doing, Jackson? Good to see you, mate. I should probably move that onto here. There we go. I've got 2 monitors now, so it's all like, all over the place. And I can have, all the stream settings there. That's better. So, we've got Big up, Brad. How you doing, Aidan? Good to see you, mate. Reports that Huddersfield Town are going for Danny Cowley. Okay, I'm here for Neil Warnock. Good man. Hi, Wayne. Evening, Paul. Welcome to the stream. Onwards talks like he's doing us a favour. Seeing the rumours about Darren Moore. Hector get sacked. We might get him. I want Rooney. Get another Fotheringham. Right. So, I have a lot to say about what I've just read as well. So, from where I stand, I think I've got Marco here. Maybe it's just the lighting. I don't know. Or it might just be a hair. I don't really. Yeah, it probably is. So, hang on one second. I'm actually going to go check that. Yeah, it really is just my lighting. So, I'd nearly just fallen through the floor. Anyway, more important stuff. So, to my knowledge, the manager is in. The new guy is in. Now, I have been told by a source that we've got a new manager. Now, what Jake Edwards said, I really believe in the idea and the theory of it, but saying it and pulling it off is two completely different things. And I back them all the way. Like, I'm really disappointed in the transfer window. Like, I think it wasn't fair on Neil, and it wasn't fair on the fans either, because we could have really, really put ourselves in a bad situation here. I think this squad is overrated. I do. Now, obviously, Neil says that he reckons it's the best back four. Ruffles is one of the best left backs in the league. And he rates the squad really highly. And that's someone who works with them. So he'd have a different perspective than we would, because we only go off the results and what we see in the ground. And I'll be honest, a lot of it hasn't been great this season. But look, what Jake Edwards said, I completely agree with. If you can get a manager in for a long-term project, which they say they're trying to get us into the Premier League within 3 years, then I understand their thought process. But it is one thing to think, but it's another to have them replace Neil Warnock. Neil Warnock. That is very big shoes to fill. And on top of that, we don't really have a history of breaking the bank for anything. So I'd love to know if we haven't done that, who has been deemed an improvement, or they said it wasn't going to be an improvement. It was going to be someone who could stay for longer. But, they can't stay for longer if they're going to get sacked. That's my point. If they're not good enough, then we will start to lose, and then they'll get removed or they'll leave. That's how the process works. So that's my thought and main question is, because I have been told who it is, but it might not be concrete, as some people are saying. I've heard a lot, and I've been told, but I'm not 100% sure on it, because obviously I haven't seen it in my own eyes yet. Until the point that verified tick announces it on Twitter, it hasn't happened to me, because we've heard plenty of stuff over the years that Wagner was pen to paper, and it didn't. So that being said, I completely see the thought process on why, but from a personal perspective, it's not the principle. It is the person in this for me. It's Neil Warnock, because he is one of the best managers in the country. He's probably the most experienced. So, to someone who's going to be able to engage with the players like he has, you're asking a lot. And someone may be more than capable. I'm not saying they're not, but it's just worth bearing in mind. So, that being said, the candidates that I've heard, in no order of, favourites or anything, is Darren Moore. Hang on, let me look at the odds page again, because this is what I'm going off for, what I've heard, and I'll then say what I've been told and seen and all the rest. Let's look at the odds first. Hang on, let's move that over here. So it's not showing me any odds, it's just saying names. There we go. So this is in order. So people are saying that the favourite is Darren Moore, formerly of West Brom and Sheffield Wednesday, both of which clubs where he excelled massively. Second in the list is Nathan Jones. Third in the list is Paul Heckingbottom, currently in a job at Sheffield United. Fourth is Liam Richardson, and fifth is Paul Ince. Now, I've seen, obviously, odds elsewhere. Come on. Where are we? Hold on a second. Let's go on here. Hang on a second. Let's have a quick look at that. Right, so here we have showing me old managers. You're not actually showing me anything. It just seems like I had a page earlier that I've just seen. Hold on a second. Also, I do want to do that quickly before I go any further. Right, there we go. I'm just going to check how the string's running as well before I get into this next part. Seems all good. So, yeah, I've heard those names. There was more. For some odd reason, it's not letting me look. Right, okay, here we go. So the odds as well. Chris Wilder was... I can't actually speak about that on camera, I don't think. Chris Wilder was after Ince, and then Craig Bellamy, Slavislav Jukanovic, Wayne Rooney, Dean Holden, Anthony Barry, Dean Smith, and Steve Bruce. I heard of... What else did I hear of? I also heard of former USA women's manager. Now, I'll give my take on it. Now, personally, I think Darren Moore is a good option. You know, he's achieved a lot with not a lot, you know, in terms of spending and so forth. And he seems like a good manager that can engage with players from what I've seen, you know, with Sheffield Wednesday. Nathan Jones is a good manager, but he has history with speaking ill of Huddersfield Town supporters. Now, we've all done it after a loss, but I don't know if I'd like to see how that would play with the fan base, because he seemed really salty, saying we'd bought the league when we beat Luton in the playoffs, when we'd only spent like I think a couple of $100K on one player. So, and then you've got Rooney. I think Rooney would be a great shout. You know, legend of the game, and he can definitely manage at this level. And then I've heard strongly that it could be the USA women's manager, formerly. But from what I've been told and seen, that is the most likely is that it is Nathan Jones. Like I say, I can't say for sure, but I've been told that it would be Nathan Jones that's signed. Now, don't take my word for it, because we've seen it before with Wagner, but that's what I've been told. I don't know my standpoint on that. I don't think it... I'm not the biggest fan of him, you know, after that interview, but, you know, maybe do we forgive and forget? I don't know. He's a good manager, and you have to put these things aside for the best thing for the football club, obviously, but I'm not completely sure. I will be at the game tomorrow vlogging as normal, and it'll be very kind of sad to see two club legends leave once again. But I cannot stress enough, obviously going back to the earlier point, how much I loved that they were kind of saying, you know, this is a very... So for it to be a strange time, it must be someone very good as a manager. If we've... Now, because a lot of reports are saying he's someone from overseas. But if we go and kick Neil Warnock out and say, look, we don't need you anymore, we're going to go for a longer term option, and it is another assistant manager, I will go absolutely mental. And I won't be the only one. Because it'll be, if it's someone that isn't qualified to do the role and can't get the results, they'll be gone in a couple of weeks. That's just how the game is. And we're on a good run now. 2 wins in 2. Yeah, first one was against, a good side. Second one, hate to say it, Rotherham, but maybe not so much. They were awful. I feel like if we play like we did on Saturday against a better team, we'd have probably struggled. It were another game like Leicester, which is what scared me really, because we did miss a lot of chances. But like I say, excuse me, I do like how they reiterated that if this isn't right, then this could go bad. And the scary thing is, it won't maybe go bad. It will go bad. And we'll get relegated. That's as simple as it is. Because like I've said, I'm at that point now where I've watched football for long enough that I can make an opinion now. And a lot of people may not agree with this, and that is more than fine. But this is the results game. Under Corbyn, it were great playing this nice attacking football. But if we lost the game, then we've sacrificed winning a game for playing nice football. Excuse me. If we play great in 46 games in a championship season and lose every one, we go down. That's just it. If Rotherham, reckon they played well on Saturday, I'm not losing sleep over it because we took the 3 points. That is all that matters. Every game, there are positives to take. And I was really hot-headed against Leicester for that exact reason. And a lot of people said, you sound, you're out of order. And yeah, obviously, I lay it on a bit thick in the moment because I'm annoyed, but that was our game to win. We take our chances. We've beaten the favourites in the league and already got 3 points that we would have never got. I would have rather lost that game deservedly and learn a lesson. We'd done the hard part. It was the easy part that let us down. It was the finishing chances and just that final step. That hurts more for a fan. For me, it hurts more because when I see us lose and deserve to lose, I can go away knowing that we didn't deserve that today, but we go again next week. And I should do the same thing really with the playing well. But to play well and to not come away with anything, it just feels like a kick in the face. And that is the one thing that I can't understand is people that want to see good football at the cost of getting points. Because to me, for the club that I love, there is nothing more I want to see than us excelling every way we can. But results come first. So this new manager, if he or she, with it being reported that it could be the former USA women's manager, come in and we play great football and lose, then it has gone badly. And we will move down the league very quickly. It is a ruthless league. I've not seen a league like it. It is literally fight or you're down. It is, it really is survival of the fittest. And I can't thank, Neil and Ronnie enough for, yes, giving us good football sometimes, but getting it done. That is all that matters. And they did it in abundance. And, a lot of managers have for us, but a lot haven't. We might have had a couple of good games. Oh, well, we played good today. We played good today, so there's positives to take. But positives to take just sounds like an excuse for, like an excuse for actually looking at what should matter. And that's, we lost that game on our own doing because we couldn't put the ball in an open net, and we have done in games before. That's something I'm quite passionate about. Obviously, I want nothing more than to see us play great football, but it should never come at the cost of the main aim of the game, and that's to win the game. And if we play good and draw, on to the next. Nice. Now, if we play good and lose, now it depends on the lose. It depends on how we're playing good. If we're playing good by doing nice passing moves, I wouldn't be as bothered. But if we're missing sitters, that is what goes through me. And I won't be the only one, but it is what goes through me just personally, is when sitters that we would score any other day of the week is what costs us a game. Because it is a long season, and you can easily get caught behind like we did last season. And Reading had a points deduction. If they didn't, we wouldn't have stayed up. So we have that to be thankful for as well. Another main point from me, I know I seem like I'm going on a rant now, but this has to be right. We're talking about one of the best managers in history, in English, football club history. And you might have gone at Christmas, but taking him away in September, about 7 games in, this has to be spot on. Because we haven't had a great window. We've had a bad window, really, let's be honest. We brought in Ben Wiles, Maxwell the keeper, and Bergzorg. And he scored the other day. Great, really nice second goal. And he should have scored a couple on Saturday, but he knows that. He posted, he said, look, I'm sorry, I should have scored a couple more. And that's fine. We go again. But we got the result, so we could afford to miss the chances. But this has to be spot on. Like I say, this league is getting harder and harder. I mean, if we don't get someone in that can get the best out of, average players and make them good players and make poor players average players, make good players great players, then we've really well and truly got ourselves in a sinking ship, truth to be told. So, look, there's plenty of time for stuff to change around in the staff department. We've got until the end of the week to announce it, so we've been told. So they've told us, that they've already signed, and that they've been monitoring it for months. So fair play to them. They've stuck to the guns and made the decision. As Neil said, it is the decision that matters. So we'll respect them for it, and we'll hold judgment. But in a similar way to what happened with Bromby, we will judge the powers that be for making this decision when it goes good or when it goes bad. And the same happened with Bromby, judge me on Fotheringham. Dire, shocking. So that's why we said what we said about Bromby. We said, he has to go because it didn't work. And he made some great signings in that Corberán season, but he was way off with Fotheringham. Way off. I want to see us, more than anything, have that 3-year plan to get back to the Premier League. That first year in the Premier League was like a dream come true. I remember it like it was yesterday. I have a really good long-term memory, to be truthfully honest, with that kind of stuff, even more so. Blink and I'm there. Man United at home. Probably one of the best days of my life. And I don't think, again, I'll be the only one saying that. But this has to be right. Because if it isn't, it's not forgiving this league. We will fly down the table. And I can't do another relegation battle. I can't. we've got ourselves into a decent position now. We're mid-table. Win one, lose one, by all means. Draw a couple, great. Keep a couple of clean sheets, even better. But let's not sack one of his only chances at staying in the league and bring in someone who can't do the same. And I wish the new person all the best. They've got my full backing, whoever they are, to begin with. Even if it is someone that said something, bad about fans in the past. They have my full backing. But they have to back it up with the results and back it up with the style of play. They have to have an intent of doing something. And I'm not a complete, I'm not going to be roaring at a camera every week if we're playing good and losing. I do understand to an extent that there is a degree of just being unlucky. It's when it's constantly the same thing that does me. I'm not going to be out of order or unfair. But if there's a couple of games where I'm playing good and not getting out, I will do my scream or whatever, and we'll leave it. But if it's happening every week, that's where it starts to get annoying. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. So yeah, massive congratulations, massive thank you in order for Neil Warnock and Ronnie Jepson. I wish them the absolute best in the rest of their managerial careers. And I wish them great health, naturally. I can't wait to see who the new manager is. I can't wait to be there tomorrow night and just be a part of something where we're all congratulating and thanking a club legends, and we'll just see how it all goes. I do my hot-headed rant, I do my judging, but I reserve a lot of it until we see who it is and what they can do with the football club. Like I say, I just hope they get it right, because if not, it's our club that's on the line here. And I know I speak about how unforgiving this league is, but plenty of teams go down and never come back up. We could become a washed club. We could become, we could be a boat that sinks and sinks and sinks, and it is so easy for it to happen. And the attendances will drop and the players will leave, and before you know it, we're a former Premier League club that's down in the dumps. It's just get it right, get it spot on, get behind the new manager, have the John Smiths rocking every single week, get behind them, don't start moaning like I do all the time, and let's see where we can go with it. Like I say, what a men, Ronnie Jepson and Neil Warnock, and yeah, I'm really excited to see who the new manager is. Like I say, I've been told things, but nothing's concrete for me until that blue tick or yellow tick comes up on the screen. Not even when Sandra does it. Don't believe Sandra one bit. So that being said, I'd like to thank you all for coming and tuning in. I know it's been a bit of a sad thank you, and a bit of a we can't go lose. I know I go off on one sometimes. But I'd like to thank everyone for coming and tuning in. If you do enjoy this content, please leave a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. We've just hit 5,000 recently, and that was massive. Thank you for that. Quick note before you all leave. I am going to be posting some gaming stuff on my second channel, Brad Barb's Games. So if that is the kind of thing that interests you, then feel free to go check some of that out. And if you like it, show some support. If you can, that'd be great. I will be streaming on Twitch as well once I get all my setup sorted. And that is Brad Barb's Game as well. Brad Barb's Games as well. I'll be streaming some COD, maybe the new EA Sports FC, and stuff like that. So we'll just see how that goes. But yeah, I'm looking to do that on a night, nights where town aren't playing or there isn't really much to speak about. So yeah, if you could, go check some of that out, that'd be great, and I'd be really, really grateful for that. Anyway, thank you so much for everyone watching, everyone who commented and shared some insight. and I'll see you all tomorrow night for Neil Warnock and Ronnie Jepsons' final game at Huddersfield Town. Take care, everyone. See you tomorrow night.